The sustainable development goal chosen by our team for the research project is the no poverty. Team leader Zhu Nannan, members of the team Sun Jian, Wei Xuecheng, Li Xiaolong, Lu Weiwei. The name of our project is Analysis of the Current Situation of Poverty Alleviation through Education in China and Research on Development Countermeasures. There are 4 paths in our presentation. The first one is research background. For developing countries, poverty is the biggest challenge. China is the largest developing country and also the country with the largest population in the world. However, a country with a large population doesn't mean a country with strong human resources. If the population is capacitated and poorly qualified, a large population becomes a burden and continually exacerbates poverty. According to data from the 4th National Census Bulletin of the National Bureau of Statistics of China, in the early 1990s, the average length of education for the population above 6 years old in China was only 6.26 years, about 4.5 years lower than that in the same period of developed countries. This shows that the population to China's national quality improvement brought a sharp contradiction between quantity and quality, caused the national overall quality is low and the national quality structure is unreasonable. According to the data from National Bureau of Statistics, over the past 4 decades, more than 700 million people have been lifted out of the poverty. China has reduced the poverty by more people than any other country in the world, contributing over 70% to global poverty reduction and achieve ahead of schedule the poverty reduction goals set out in the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Based on the great changes in China's poverty alleviation in past few decades, this study analyzes the policy and the measures in the process of China's poverty alleviation, mainly discuss the role of education in poverty alleviation, and then looks into the future development countermeasures of this topic. The second part is policy research. Providing people in poor areas with good education is an important way to alleviate poverty through development. China has made a series of plans for poverty alleviation. In particular, it puts forward clear requirements for poverty alleviation through education. The following is the 3 parts policy frameworks, which summarized by our team according to the policy establishment period and the content direction. The first one is from 1985 to 2000. The second one is from 2001 to 2010. The third one is from 2011 to present. Among the above policies concerning poverty alleviation through education, there are both overall plans for education development in poor areas and specific support projects. It can be seen that China has made great efforts in the construction of poverty alleviation through education. The third part is research conclusion and a summary of matters. Poverty is a long-term social phenomenon faced by human beings, especially in people in poverty-stricken areas. Only by developing education in poverty-stricken areas, improving the scientific and cultural quality of poverty-stricken groups, persisting in study and hardworking can completely change and future the destiny and one or even several generations. Therefore, it is concluded that Education is positively correlated with an overall level of economic development. Increasing the investment in education means increasing the investment in the future economy, which provides a steady stream of intellectual support and manpower guarantee for the future economic development, and has an important impact on poverty alleviation and perspective. The following is the summary of China's successful poverty alleviation measures through education. From the perspective of pedagogy, the achievements of poverty alleviation policy can be summarized into two aspects. The first is the study of poverty alleviation in education, that is, helping the poor in education. Second, poverty alleviation research on other causes through education, that is poverty alleviation through education. 1. Supporting the poor in education. The drop-off rate of poor students has been reduced to zero dramatically by controlling drop-off and school insurance. The problem of shortage of teachers for education poverty alleviation has been solved. The basic teaching conditions of school have been significantly improved, including 1. Overall improvement weakness is the single project with the largest central financial investment in the history of China's compulsory school construction. Following is the school teaching facilities before and after. 2. The national education information infrastructure is gradually improved. The coverage of digital education resources in rural schools continues to expand, and a mechanism for co-construction and sharing of high-quality resources is gradually improved. Third, the second one is relying on education to help the poor. Vocational education has been vigorously developed to improve the employability of poor talents. It is an important way to realize developing education to get rid of poverty, and it is also one of the methods of poverty alleviation with quick and effective results. 2. Getting rid of poverty from higher education that transform science and technology into development momentum. In the past 8 years, there were 75 colleges and universities managed by the Ministry of Education had played hard. Following are some examples. The last part is future development. By studying in the policies and measures for poverty alleviation through education in China, we found that the future direction of development should expand strategic thinking in the new areas, reflecting holistic thinking by focus on solving the unbalanced development of education, reflecting long-term thinking by blocks the intergenerational transmission of poverty. The following are some suggestions on the future development of education for poverty alleviation discussed by our team. First, the main method of poverty alleviation through education in the future, systematic poverty alleviation. From now on, we should base ourselves on the fundamentals, continue to expand the breadth of research on poverty, and pay attention to the systematic and comprehensive of theoretical research, making education poverty alleviation theory with other views become a system. Second, In the future, the important base point of the poverty alleviation through education is to develop basic education in poor area. Third, a new model of poverty alleviation through education in the further, the long-term development of multimedia reports. We should not only present policies but also pay attention to the implementation of it and observe the long-term impact of the policies after they are implemented at a grassroots level. Fourth, the important starting point for poverty alleviation through education, vocational education. Fifth, the future boosting power of education, poverty alleviation, educational information. In some remote areas, the basic framework of information has not yet been established. If technologies are used in teaching, students in remote areas can also get the same teaching level and amount of information as urban students. Of course, the implementation of distance education in poverty stricken areas requires further financial and technical support and the development of more pilot projects. We believe the development of distance education will be one of the effective ways to improve the backwardness and education in poor and remote areas. That's all in our presentation. Thank you.